Welcome everyone. So today we are going to do some drawings. How often do you draw? Can you daily? Good.
Every day.
Every day.
Oh, nice.
Every day. How do I get you all on here?
It's okay. Does it help you?
I'm not sure, but I really enjoy it. I would like more help with it. I've never taken a class or anything. I've just been drawing.
Okay. It's sometimes it feels like you have some capacity and you keep cleaning a little bit and it doesn't feel like much, but at the end it will be so much released.
I'm looking forward to that. Thank you.
Okay.
I enjoyed your Ho'oponopono class this week too.
Nice. It's a beautiful class. It's a beautiful technique by itself, but it's
exactly.
Neurographica compliments.
It's part of my practice, and once I understood more of how Neurographica worked, the combination just seemed priceless. So, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad that you use the techniques. There's so much, and I hope that today we learn something new, something useful.
I also enjoy all your hairstyles.
Thank you. It's always nice to hear. Okay, so let me switch the camera. So not to switch the camera, I'll make myself a little bit bigger because it will be on recording. You can watch this class as many times as you want. Today we are going to work with different parts and different feelings in our life, so we can give them recognition and we can give them special support and see how many we have. But before we start drawing, I want to do a short exercise, 2 minutes exercise, but a little bit different, not as always like just do random words. I will set up a timer for 2 minutes, and this 2 minutes we will write down as fast as we can all feelings or states or emotions we experienced within last 30 days or within last month. Life is crazy now, so we can have a roller coaster of our emotions. So be honest to yourself. Whatever you can remember, let yourself to see it. All those feelings, emotions, nice and not so nice, just write down them, like without any analysis, without any understanding, as many as you can remember. Okay, are we ready? Do we have a piece of paper, just a random paper? We are not going to draw on it, random pen. So I'm ready to set up a timer, and it's time starting. So it's 2 minutes. We're writing all feelings we felt within last month. And it's time. And I just invite you to count how many you have without any analysis right now. So just count them. I have 29. Some of them are repeated. Okay, how many do you have? You can type it in your chat. I turned off sound of your microphones just because to have a clean sound on the video. So we have 20, good, 23. Do you have repetitions? 16, 19, of some of these feelings. Yes, 9. Okay.
I have 34,
Okay,
but I have a lot of repeat.
good, good. Repeat is good.
Okay.
So now I invite you to look which word is the mostly repeated. Or if you don't have a repetition, which word has the biggest charge, like which feelings, which state you experienced within last month has the most common for you, like that you easily experience it. Like it seems like every day I have this feeling. And you can just write down the word in the chat so everyone will benefit from it, because it's maybe awakening some feelings in each other. Grateful, good. Life is good, Kate, I guess. For me, the most common word that was repeated several times was resentment, disappointed, disillusioned, peace and happiness, nice, fear, okay. The feelings could be very intense, or they can be mild, but just regular, like chronicle. Like I have some sadness, but it's chronicle sadness, or I have a fear, but it's chronicle fear. So something that is very common for you or has the biggest charge. Okay. Abandonment came as a surprise, but is real. Good. I'm glad that we are here today. Guilt. Guilt, shame. It's a different feelings. It's interesting how easy to define what the difference between shame and guilt. You'd have to ask 2 different questions. If shame, the question is, what is wrong with you? If it's guilt, the question is, what you've done wrong. So like shame is even worse because it's about something wrong with me. But guilt is about actions. Usually they come together, they can come together. That's why it's very hard to define the difference between them. I put war as the words to describe the feelings elude me. Okay, so Kate, war is it's a little bit like feelings capsulated because it's scary. So allow yourself today in a gentle way, unpack it, and just look what kind of feelings can start boiling, because it could be fear, it could be anger, it could be frustration, it could be desire to leave or desire to die. All of them will be complex parts of this war statement. Yeah. Because we want feeling starts moving. We want them be in action. It's a very important. 7 with repeats of peace and calm and contentment. Okay, good. I'm glad that we have a variety and we will see how complex and interesting we are. And we're living definitely at interesting and exciting times. So I switch my camera and we just start drawing because we have 2 hours only to do it, to explore ourselves. But you can finish the drawing and you can spend as much time as you need. Okay, so piece of paper, just regular white, any size you feel comfortable with, but there will be many elements on your drawing today. So you can choose any color for lines, just make sure that it's one color. So all lines will be integrated, connected, and the stress will be released through lines. So today the goal is to acknowledge, respect, and give your attention to all different states that we experience. Because whenever we ignore something, suppress something, it will shoot at the most awkward time with intensity that we did not expect. So today we want to give space, give room to everything that we experience. And just look at it. We are not trying to change anything. We just want to look how different we can be. And could be a very exciting experience. So the class is called round table. It's a very common practice in psychologists and coaching. So in the middle of the drawing, I invite you to draw the round table. It could be oval table, it could be square table if you want stability and you want square. Just draw the table, which we will invite our guests, our different parts, our different states, different feelings today. Just take a look, how big is the table? Is it balanced? Mine is a little bit more oval than round, but it's fine. It's not about perfection. It's about make invisible visible. Make it acknowledged, respected. Okay, so at the top of the table, like the king place, we invite the most common state you experienced within last month. So for me, it will be resentment. And you can choose the shape that will represent this state. It could be circle, it could be triangle, or maybe it's just abstract a shape that's something like doodling, that without defined shape or archetype shape. Just allow yourself to represent this feeling in any shape that you want to look at, like that you feel that you feel connected to this shape, this feeling. Okay. And just take a look. How do you feel? How big is it? How spiky is it? I'm actually surprised that my resentment is not so spiky. I can soften it if it's too much. I can make a short catharsis inside if it's really so intense. Like if it's hard to breathe, even looking at my fear or at my anger, I can do a short catharsis inside of this feeling. But mine seems not as intense as I expected. So I'm just soften it, make it lines a little bit softer around. And what's happened to my soft camera now? I'll be back just a second. Okay. And we are going in a different directions wherever you feel. You start from your list that you experienced here, you start writing down different parts. And we say like, I invite at my round table my anger. I had some anger. And again, you choose the shape. Interesting that my anger is very soft. I invite fear, and the fear can be triangle. They can cross each other, they can be overlapping, they can overlap with the table. So don't try to keep the distance. Allow yourself to see where each state, where each feeling will be comfortable. Like find a beautiful place for this feeling. The most like you inviting a guest, you allow them to find their own space at the table. So they can chit chat to each other. Can you imagine that fear and anger start chit chatting to each other? Allow them to communicate, look, all different states. Be very honest to yourself. Like if you felt frustrated, allow this frustration to be at your table. Interesting, the frustration wants to be such triangle. Or if you've been excited, you can have the excitement here. You can write down all the names if you want to remember them, or you can number them and make a list on the side which ones you want. Like where will be your shame or guilt? Like find the place, find the shape that representing, find the size that representing this feeling. Again, we are not trying to change anything right now. We are find the perfect place. If it's too much, you can do a short catharsis, a small catharsis inside of it, just to release this intensity. Just release this charge, emotional charge that you're holding inside of you. Okay, so sadness. I have some sadness. Sadness will be square. I had this interesting courage, bravery. Okay. Well, the feelings or states can be very concrete or very vague, like desire to live or fear to live. It could be. So see what could be. The very common, very common state could be I'm tired. That I invite at my table the part that I'm tired. And the tiredness will be look like this. The shapes can go beyond your paper. So they don't have to be only within the size. They can be so big, they can go beyond the size of the paper. Okay. Okay. Desire to live. Desire to live. I want to feel alive. I want to feel alive. If you have joy, if you experience some joy, you can do the joy as well. I was very proud for my children. So I want to put it here. Interesting that it's next to the resentment. If you had this connection with creativity, you felt creative, you can invite this part as well. interesting for me that creativity is a triangle, it's action. If you felt procrastination, this is a very good one. Sometimes in challenging times, especially when one thing after another and another, there is such desire to escape that death looks like a good idea. And if you had some feeling that it was present, such thinking like, just escape from this life. I don't want to deal with this anymore. Allow it to be seen as well. So it could be very different, very intense emotions, something that we cannot even admit to ourselves. The good thing that you don't need to talk about it, you can just allow yourself to look at it. So make it visible, make it present. See how much space it's in your consciousness it takes. Maybe it's something that needs to be addressed right now, something that is really needs your attention because it's overwhelming the rest of your part, the rest of your feelings. Okay. And if you still have any space, because this list can go on, there could be hundreds of different states, but again, like what we experienced within last 30 days. And something, some feeling, some emotion, some state that we want to experience or we want to invite in our life. Maybe we want some more, for me, it's more peace. Even I had some peace, but I want to invite more peace. I want, maybe you want to invite some state of yourself, some experiences that you don't know even the name for it, some excitement or some interest, amazement in life that you can just invite and make it, even without clear definition, just give a space for it in your consciousness, in your psyche. Just allow it to be. Like if you don't have much space, you can always do a circle or element on overlapping with other elements. So don't worry about space. They can be crowded, but it will be tight, but it will have space for everybody. States can overlap. We are not trying to keep the distance. Like, okay, so right now I'm very angry, and in a few minutes I will be very happy. Like the anger and happiness can overlap. So how is everyone doing? Do we have enough states to invite at our table? Do we have something that is very scary to invite at our table? Maybe some energies like sorrow. Yeah, there is sorrow right now, especially around all this death topic. There is grief. Grief can be invited as well. It's interesting. I'll do it this way. It's a two states, bravery, courage, and grief overlapping, almost like a Solomon star. So whenever you invite all your states, just take a look at them. If there is any intensity in some of these shapes, make them softer. Just give them a little bit more of your attention. Just soften angles, round some of the angles. If you have done catharsis, you can soften and dissolve the catharsis within the shape. Make it very gentle for you. It's interesting how bravery and grief integrated together, creating one shape for me. And why is it this shape, particular shape? Notice how you're feeling. How is this inner state is changing when you invite different parts? Is your emotional state is changing? Like when you invite fear, when you invite anger, when you invite joy, wave. And we soften some of them. Maybe you want to just draw some shapes that you don't know names yet, that you don't have a vocabulary for them, for the states, because they are so new to you. You cannot define them. You can just draw the shape and give it some space. Some of the shapes can start transforming in a softer or sharper elements, sharper shapes and forms. You can just soften it. The goal of this exercise is to create a bigger capacity for us to hold different emotions and feelings, to look how different we are, that I'm not just depressed or I'm not just angry person. I can be joyful, I can be happy. It's just like this is one of the parts, like one of the hundreds parts of me. And it's when we take a look at them, when we give them space, our attention, our energy, our respect, we will be able to invite different parts at different time. Maybe at your work, when you have this constantly experiencing like tiredness, or you experiencing anger at your manager, you can invite a part that is very creative and just take a look at the situation from a different angle, from a different part of yourself. It's not like you're inviting a different person, but you will feel more excitement about your work. You can see new opportunities. You're looking from a different state. So this is the ultimate goal, to juggling all these parts and have some kind of not control, but options. You can have options to choose which part I want to do. Like maybe whenever you talk to your children, you can have some, you always had excitement. So whenever they do something, you can be a little bit more pragmatic, or you can allow yourself to be resentful and without any guilt or shame that, yes, something wrong with me. No, everything is fine. You are just using the different parts. You're experiencing different parts and looking at the situation from a different state. And in the center, the table that we are created at the beginning is our wholeness. This is my soul. This is my resource of energy that I define to different parts. I can give different parts. And we can start from the center of the table, from the heart. You can even draw the heart if you feel like. You can start connecting to different feelings that you invited. Don't be afraid that, okay, I don't want to feed my fear. Those lines can actually give not just energy to it, but they can dissolve those feelings as well. They can transform them. You are giving your time, you are giving your respect, attention, your love, your gratitude. Thank you for serving me. Thank you for being me when I was afraid. Thank you for being there when I was, my boundaries were crossed and I was very angry and defensive. Thank you for being there, for recognizing life and joy around me. So send your gratitude, your respect, your love, your energy, your light, your inner light from your heart to different states. Connect to all of them. Some of them that are very challenging, you can always say like, I give you some time. I will pay attention to you. I will listen to you. But you need some time. And whenever you want to invite something excited, you can always say, I invite you more often in my life. I give you more space in my life. I will looking forward to see you more and more around. So we are not disconnecting and saying like, okay, so this is bad, this is something good, you are my favorite, you are my least favorite, and I abandon you. So give your love and warmth to abandoned parts, something that was ignored. And you can notice how they shapes may start changing. They can complement each other. They can morph in something different, like the shapes, the size can be changing. How some of them will be dissolved with in all these lines. When you have too many lines or enough lines, start rounding, soften the energy, integrate everything together. The ultimate goal that there is, I'm whole again. I want to be whole again. I don't want to be divided in different parts, but experience life in a beautiful variety of states and emotions. And I can choose which state I can invite more often. Each state is welcome, but I can give more, not like I give more as a priority to some states, but I love them all. They all serve me. And this is very important. Like, thank you for serving me. You are teachers, you are my teachers, you are my friends. Sometimes very active or intense friends. And when you're friends with different states, with different feelings, we become more and more friends to ourselves. We give ourselves permission to be different, to be loved as we are, without comparison. Oh yes, today I'm very angry. Today I'm very resentful, or I can be I can afraid. I allow myself to afraid. I survived because I have some fear. And it's important to respect and give ourselves gratitude to those feelings. Okay. So how is everyone doing? Do we have like 1 million lines now? Give some space for laughter. Like maybe I want like invite some laughter I invite here, and I connect to this feeling. We are so serious sometimes, like let's invite something new. If you're afraid of changes, invite changes in your, like, I'm excited about changes. Invite the excitement about something new in your life. You can define how big change you want to invite. Look at it. Maybe it will give you more excitement. Okay, so everybody is so quiet. Nobody is typing. Everybody is drawing. I have a question. Which state, which feeling surprised you the most on your drawing? Maybe shape surprised you, maybe the size, the intensity. Just take a look at it. Even if you did not sign the names of different shapes, like I usually don't write them down. Look at the shape. Give it more, like more. Wow, you're very exciting. My anger is very exciting, like, or my fear is a very interesting shape, like. So you can allow yourself to be excited about something that's so familiar and drastic in your life. It's interesting. In one sentence, I said like drastic and familiar in common. It's interesting. Shame as a square, a foundation, emotions that I am healing. Interesting. Yes, square is about traditions, is about stability. So this is interesting. Shame. You can like for shame. I don't know if it's a resonate with you, but see if you want behind the shame. Draw this the shape that will represent your ancestors, because square is about traditions and we are very loyal to our family. So this could be from one generation to another. Only two squares, sorrow and confusion. Interesting. Notice that squares can be very stable if they like, let's me draw on another side. Like square can be very stable, and it could be like when it's standing on the ground, but square can be unstable as well if it's just touching it. So see if maybe some of the confusion or sorrow are not as stable, and that's why they're shaking. Okay, which way? This was labels. You can after you rounding a little bit, like it will take hours for me to round my of course. You can start, if you have some space behind them, you can start inviting some resources. The time is a great resource. Like, okay, there are so many of you. I cannot deal with you at the same time. You can invite time as a resource. I give you time. I give you space. I will deal you when I have enough resources. You are not ignoring them. You are just asking for, be patient with me. And you give yourself permission to be patient with yourself. Yes, they are unstable. You can bring some shapes to hold them, give them stability. You can always, and you see, like when you bring resources behind them, like ancestors or time, or maybe faith. Faith could be a great resource. Grounding could be a great resource. People in your life can be a great resource. Maybe, yes, like confusion is very unstable for me. I can invite my friend or my husband who is very stable, who can really hold this grounding for me, like be the grounding for me. And you can invite them as a resource for you. So it will be like whenever you experience this confusion, whenever you experience this state, you can go to this person and like, and know you, I will use you as a resource. I will hold to you because this is what makes me more stable. Learn which resources you want to invite behind them. Some of them could be unknown. You just allow yourself to see there are resources. There is always enough for you. I like this part, adding the resources. Yeah, wisdom. You can, like, we connected from the heart in the center, like from our own heart. You can always bring resources like divine resources, Mother Earth as a resource, ancestors. Change could be the resource. It shall pass could be a resource. Self-forgiveness. Yes, forgiveness. Patience could be a resource as well. Self-accepting could be resource. Visibility could be resource. I'm visible. I'm seen. This could be beautiful resource. Notice how the capacity of ourselves, like we started with centerpiece, like this is me, this is my soul. How life gives us so many opportunities to grow, to become bigger. Our soul is growing. It's all these different experiences that makes life miserable and excited at the same time. We're going through this interesting school that teachers are just horrible sometimes. And the most challenging teachers are the dear people next to us, our husbands and children and parents, of course. Resource could be, creativity could be resource. Methods could be resource, like meditation, yoga. What else? Trying to give me some clues. Share your wisdom with everyone. What is your best resources that you use? I feel like I don't have enough space even to show all these resources. Again, resources could be so big, you just define their presence. They can be just arc, and the bigness is going beyond it. Drawing, yes. Neurographica could be resource, yeah. Nature is a very beautiful resource. About confusion and don't, there could be some part that like I don't understand what is happening, like frustrated part. You can always bring a resource as a another part, like it's okay to be stupid. It's okay to be silly. I can be stupid sometimes, like I don't have to make sense out of everything. World is unpredictable. Okay, prayer, meditation, yes, yeah. Community could be resource. Church, if you go to church, and connect to them. Bring the energy. You can bring energy from the center to different parts, and you can bring the energy from resources through the state that you experience, challenging experiences, to the heart of yours. Notice that it's interesting, like if you invited faith, which parts are really connecting you to the faith? Which states, which emotions are you need to be grateful for because they invited community, for example, in your life, or they invited stability in your life, or they invited time, perception of time in your life. And it's not just supporting the state, it's gives them more energy, more support to your soul, to the heart in the center, so you can bring more lines from outside in. We connected from inside out first, but now from outside inside. Notice if there is any change in your state. How do you feel right now? Is there any shifts? If there is something new that appeared, like, oh my gosh, I'm like feel anxiety right now because there are so many lines. You can invite and give some space to this anxiety. You can keep adding more and more parts. So you can have an opportunity to look at them, to look at yourself. Empowered, stronger, more vital. Good, nice. But again, it's sometimes it can go downhill before it goes up. Allow yourself to be honest to yourself, like whatever I experience is perfectly fine. I have time and space to look at it, to experience it. Okay. If how's your body feeling? What is going on in your body? How do you breathe? Do you want, is there anything, any emotions that's stuck in your body? Do you feel that anything needs to be released more? Stretch, expensive, yes. We are at the whole about stretching our soul. It's about stretching our capacity, make ourselves bigger, capable to handle it. And again, if you later, today, tomorrow, in a week, you look at your drawing and you find something new state, new experience, new emotions or feeling that is activated, you can always add more elements on your drawing. You just need to round all these corners, integrate it. But again, notice how you are going to change. What's new will be revealed when we're bringing our attention, like, okay, I'm not afraid of different states. I can be excited about them. They will start coming to you, make your life interesting, colorful, exciting. It will show you that, like, I'm bigger than just depressed person, like, or I'm bigger than anxious person. I'm more than just procrastination. I can be exciting. I can be on time. I can be joyful, creative. I can believe in God. I can experience healing, connections to the nature. So there are so many variations. Allow yourself to drink water. To allow your body may start changing, like notice how this emotion start moving in your body as well. Like this energy, there is so much life in those emotions. Like what is the difference between humans and robots? Robots don't feel. They always the same. They just do what the program tells them to do. We are humans. We can be different. We can be unpredictable. We can change, and we can control the change at the same time. So it's okay to be human. It's okay to be alive. I don't want to live in a Groundhog Day. I want to be excited about life. Okay. Any other insights for you? Was it interesting for you sometimes, like which parts are next to each other? How are they overlapping? Or sometimes one feeling can even contain another, like protecting another one around. That our subconsciousness, through the simple shapes, can give us so many clues, so many interesting visions, insights. Notice how you're holding your feet. Are they still be on the ground? Do you still feel supported and very well grounded? Or are they on on your toes? Make some efforts to put your heels on the ground as well, so you can be supported by the floor, supported by the earth. I was listening to a lecture about holding feet on the ground, and when people put the feet on the toes, like tiptoe, or when they're sitting, the whole body is experiencing falling down. And we compensate it with some muscles that are getting harder to breathe. So when we falling down, we cannot breathe. So we sacrifice, like if you put your feet on the ground, make it more stable, or sit the way that, like a yoga position, that everything is concrete and supportive, it will be easier to breathe. Muscles will be relaxed and there will be more oxygen for you, calming your body. Okay. If you have we're already working almost an hour, so you can keep rounding, or you may start bring colors to your drawing and finish rounding later if you want. Just a little bit more rounding some shape, just connecting. So I want to show you all those different steps. And of course we have 8 steps now instead of 7. And colors. You can make yourself like colors. You can choose pencils, or maybe you want to choose something brighter today. Maybe you want to choose highlighters. They can bring a new excitement about, oh, my states are very, very bright, very neon today. Okay, I will keep rounding later, but I want some highlights today. Excitement will be my word today. What I like about highlighters that they are almost translucent, and you can always combine them with colored pencils on top, so make a little bit more shading, and very well, but with glowing, inner glowing. Do we have anybody who does not like to color and wants to keep everything just lines? Do we have such participants today? It's nothing wrong, just we can talk about it if you want. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. Notice that colors later can connect different states and different feelings. They can create the flow between those different feelings, and how they can just, energy is moving. The energy can move from one resource to another. as well. Supporting resources even. It's a long time since I was drawing with highlighters. So how's everyone doing? Good? Keep rounding, coloring. You can come back to the drawing, add more lines or more shapes at any time you want. There is no limitations about it. What is, you can always ask yourself, what is your biggest insight today? What was the biggest aha moment, or wow moment about yourself, about your feelings, about your state? How they integrated, complementing each other. Next class in July, where it will be, I believe, July 9th. It will be about whose energy we're using to achieve our goal. The gift of the universe, we'll call it. But it will be interesting class as well. I notice that I choose most of the time the same colors, the blues, the greens, and violets. Yes, it's like water and wood colors. It's about maybe finishing one period of time and starting something new. It's like on the edge, because water is a ending cycle and wood is always starting a new beginning. See, maybe you can do something unusual, something new about your drawing today. Maybe you want to invite something completely unusual. I highly recommend some, maybe not today if you don't feel it's like it, but there is a, I don't know if we've done this class. When you look at your pencils and you start coloring with the longest pencils, there is always some short one that you use all the time, and there is longer ones. So start using longer ones, and you can learn something new about yourself. Because when you look at your drawings, you can always tell a lot about what you use the most and what you ignore the most, what you avoid the most. So this could be interesting, just as an opportunity for you to learn something new about yourself. I did that with the grounding, using the colors of the lower chakras. Yes, yeah, it's a good exercise. Well, I learned a lot about my avoided colors. Yeah, I don't like so much. I hate the routine. And every color that representing routine, gray or browns or some very grounding colors, are always ignored in my pencil box, but it could be interesting. I did not feel really comfortable because you're expanding yourself. Yeah, the growth is not about comfortable. When the baby is born, there is nothing about comfortable, but it's a process. It's a process of changing ourselves, changing life around ourselves, make impact in life. It's not about I have to like everything and try everything, but you need to have a variety. It's like, yes, it's uncomfortable, but I can do it. Sometimes I can do whatever is not comfortable for me. I can look at this, my feelings that are not comfortable for me or not convenient for other people. Because when you try to ignore something or avoiding life, it's almost like running with obstacles. And you're spending so much energy to avoid obstacles. But obstacles could be opportunities. And this uncomfortable opportunities, but all my best things that happened in my life came from very uncomfortable places. And this is gives you more freedom to choose. I can be not just limited to comfort. I can do anything. Of course, we subconsciously will choose something that is more exciting and joyful for us. But it's, again, you can be different in different situations and be familiar with this uncomfort. Yeah. But again, whenever you feel you want to it, this is the gentlest way to experience discomfort. And you kind of slowly training, like, okay, no, discomfort, I've been there. I don't like the red color and I'm perfectly fine to use it. So this could be nothing to do. This anger or this angry person is just the red color. It will be uncomfortable, but it will be colorful for sure. So it could be. You can, it's interesting. We can do the class about like which color is which person. But it's hard to define because like when we look at ourselves, like how colorful we are, it's a really excitement that you don't want to limit other people just to one color. When you learn more and more about ourselves, we're more excited about other people. We can see bigger states of other people, pay more attention to their complexity, to their ability to change, how mesmerizing it is. Okay. I had, it's hard to do in online format, but there is a beautiful exercise. I've done it when I was teaching in offline classes. I have a like you can choose it like if next to somebody, like it's better to do in the group. And if you do this I have different stones, and each participant choose the stone randomly, or they can spend some time to pick the perfect stone. So they choose the stone, and I set up a timer for 5 minutes and just they just allowed to look at their own stone. 5 minutes. It seems like forever. 5 minutes to look at something small with all different cracks, with all different colors, with textures or sharp edges. And they look, and some of them it's very hard to focus on the stone. But after 5 minutes, if you say them that like, okay, now you can show your stone to somebody else, and you can look at somebody else's stones. It's amazement how much more people can notice about others when they spend just 5 minutes to look at their own stuff. How we try to, without giving enough space and time for ourselves, try to give suggestions to other people and be involved in other people's life. So this is a good practice. Like, just take a look at yourself, like take a look at your feelings, take a look at your life, at your situations. And without trying to change it, just look at it. Looking sometimes is enough, because wherever it's going your attention, goes the energy. Energy always follows the attention. And so if you have a group, or if you have friends, you can do this exercise and see. This is a very beautiful, I miss this exercise. Online, unfortunately, you cannot do it because it's very hard to show your stone to somebody else. Okay. I keep coloring and rounding and talking. The stone exercise would be powerful for team building. Yes, for team building, for as a warm-up, any like in any groups, like it's a great exercise to start. And it doesn't have to be stone. It could be shells. It could be any natural object that they can pick outside and bring to the class, to the group. It's a very interesting. And it's very interesting that like when you show, when you find something exciting, amazing, some nuances, details about your stone, how excited you are to show it to other people. The stone, none of the stones are boring anymore. They have always something to be proud, excited, and so people are just the same, just much bigger, just much bigger. Okay. Pay attention how many lines are reaching the edge of the paper, because this is not just end of your life. The life is going on. Lines are reaching and go beyond this small part of it that we are looking at. And they're going far away, and they bring people, situations, opportunities, excitement, experiences in your life. Something new, something exciting. That's why you always can extend the paper. You can make it bigger. You can go and see. The universe is, everything is connected. We don't know where or when it will happen, but this line can bring somebody in your life or some things in your life. Notice if there is any elements that are still be standing out in your drawing, like there is a much more energy in them. There is a bigger potential, emotional potential in them. It's just look at it. Like again, we don't need to change it. See if it has enough support, enough connection. Maybe it wants to get bigger or change the shape. Maybe it's something boiling inside of this shape and it wants to be transformed into something else. And of course, in the real life, like when you go in a state that you feel like, oh, this is, I've been there. There's like, this is something already over and over. You can invite another part of you. Okay, so I'm not resentful to my friend, for example, or to somebody else. How about inviting the part that is joyful or angry or stupid or something that's completely different? And you can notice how people start react differently. They start showing different parts of themselves, because we are like a moon. We always turn to the same place, the same side. Nobody sees the other side of the moon. Nobody sees the other side of ourselves. Like our friends never know how we behave at work. My husband never knows how I interact with clients. We had a very funny joke when I was working as a tax preparer for 10 years, and I did taxes for our family, of course, and he always insisted that I give him the full service. He always came to, not like, when I said like, I just do it and you come and sign. I'm like, no, I want the full service. You treat me like you treat your clients. Because it's a different side of yourself, and it's people are usually excited about learning something new, about friends, about neighbors. Maybe your neighbors are not just noisy. They could be fun, funny and exciting people. So we want to turn, like, and this will be our next step about field lines. Okay, so I'll go to the field lines. You can keep rounding and coloring. Again, you don't need to rush through steps. I just want to make a record for everything because we have only so much time. But you can finish all the steps later, because you just know what to expect. You know the next step that what needs to be done. We will be rounding for hours. Yes, yeah. Harmonizing ourselves, isn't it exciting? I'm harmonizing. I'm connecting to my complex universe, inner, and expanding my soul. I'm growing. I'm rounding and growing my soul. Isn't it exciting? Okay, so field lines. What do those field lines represent to us? Imagine that the field lines are the wind of the universe that is rotating the table. That you are never turned to the same people just with this particular part. That you allow yourself the freedom to rotate your parts. That you can be different in different situations. Because when you're in different states, you have different opportunities, different reactions, different experiences. So the field lines support ourselves and gently rotate the table. Like if we imagine, like if the wind is blowing, it's of course moving, but it's never perfect. It's never centered. So it starts slowly rotating. So slowly moving the table around its own axis. So you have this beautiful support and opportunities from the universe. Spin your different parts, different state, different emotions, and allow the life moves you. That it's nothing is stagnated. Everything is exciting, gently. Again, it's not about like, okay, I don't want any tornado. I want gently move me forward and be different. It gives me energy to be different. It gives me support. It gives me universal blessing to be different. Okay. And of course, after you adding field lines, you go along them and you round each new corner, because even if you follow the same lines or created new line, completely new path, it's start rounding, it's created some angles, corners, just because of the thickness of the line. Okay, my cat starts behaving. I'll put back. So we already done topic. Topic is about, topic is a round table, expanding the soul, expanding our consciousness. Because one includes another, so it's always nice to get bigger. Growing, it's not necessarily about getting bigger, it's getting more mature and more adult. Because when you look at children, for children can understand, like they don't understand that like every time they can be different. When they experience something, the whole life is happening there, like the whole like if they're angry, it feels like they the world is around them angry, like there will be no end to this anger. They cannot look forward that there will be different part of it. So that's why it's so dramatic. Always emotions are so bright. When children are growing, they start understanding that, like, okay, after the anger, there will be some satisfaction, there will be some different states, there will be some different emotions coming. So it's not as overwhelming as it used to be. So we are creating these different sections for ourselves instead of being just a boat. And if there is a hole in the boat, the whole boat will be sinking. Like if the boat is angry, like it's the whole ship is angry. But as you're growing, you are creating different departments. Like, okay, I can be angry at such department. I can be angry at such department. There still be ship is more stable. You understand that after anger can come something different, that you don't have to get so overwhelmed by the anger, because it shall pass. It shall pass. It will be changing. It will be more calmer, just in a few minutes in most cases, or in few days and few hours. And in this case, it's when you can recognize that you can be different. It's about maturity. It's about adulthood. I'm not a baby anymore. I can be excited adult to myself, and still have time and space for all my childish behavior. You can have a part that is infantile or some gentle childish. You don't have to ignore it. Adult can accept everything that is going on with you. It does not limiting just to something that is convenient. More full, more choices. Yes, yeah, more opportunities. I can choose. And I can accept myself in a different state, because I know that I'm more than just a state. I can accept my depression because it's not the all I am. I know that my depression is just 10% or 5% of my being. That's why it doesn't feel so overwhelming anymore. Or I can accept my anxiety because it doesn't take 99% of my emotions. It can be just part of it, maybe 10% or 5% or 1% if you have many more states, many more feelings. When you can accept something, you can deal with this, you can work with this. It's not overwhelming anymore. It's not overpowering you. So it's make it digestible. And grow the capacity. See bigger world. Notice which feeling are most rounded right now. Like which part of the table you rounded first of all? Which states you gave most of your attention first of all? or you spread your attention all over the table? Because I noticed like this corner for me, almost nothing is touched, but this is about grief and sorrow. This is what requires my attention, because I ignored it lately. Try to be busy with something else. No capacity, unlimited. Good. Infinity and beyond. Feel like a Buzz Lightyear now. Yeah, and field lines will take us to the infinity and beyond. When we round all these field lines, integrated them, we look at our drawing and see what we want to highlight. What do we want to emphasize? Is it maybe the round table? Maybe some particular parts that calling you and gives you more excitement, or asking for attention, maybe even. So you can choose, and maybe resource that you want to highlight, something that is coming. Or maybe you want to take your table to the next level and expand yourself, your soul. New size, new excitement. Unless you're completely infinite, like you're beyond the paper, there will be no fixation. And bring infinity and beyond back to us, putting it right in our hand. Yes, yeah, because it's again, if you remember when we added resources, the energy came from outside in as well. It's always interaction. I give and I take. I don't have to choose like, oh, I have to be helper. Everybody needs my help. No, I can take from the universe and from other people as well. So there is this beautiful balance, exchange of energies. Okay, there is a trick, like if you haven't heard it before in my classes, when it's hard to do the fixations, like choose the element that you want to highlight, you can always look at it from the distance and a little bit like close your eyes, just a little bit, so halfway, and you can look which element is standing out for you, which element is coming forward and really brings more attention to you. Because again, we are not working just logically with our drawing. It's hard to understand, like, okay, so I want to highlight this piece because it's very important for me. No, see what is really coming to you and invite it, accept it, make it more visible, more profound. Or maybe you want to highlight something completely new, something that is just around the corner and is calming, exciting and gentle and mesmerizing. Maybe you had some feeling and this feeling is calling you that it wants to change the shape and make it more visible in new shape. Like it was a triangle and now it wants to be a circle or a square, or opposite. Maybe it was a circle and it wants to be more dynamic and action oriented, more active. So you can make it a triangle. It doesn't have to be the shape that is already there. It can be something new, something exciting. You just look at it and see what is calling me, what wants to be more visible than anything else, what wants to be remembered, what wants to be acknowledged, respected. You have the power to see it. And you have the power to choose, like, okay, do I want to highlight it or not? It's coming to you, but it still be your choice. It's your free will to to choose, like, okay, maybe something else I want to highlight today. We usually highlight one element. If you want like several states highlight, make sure that they don't compete to each other. They complement somehow. They tell the same story. They not interrupting each other, but has some kind of support between them. Because we don't want to, like when we highlight, we want to create some more attention. Like we want to have our full attention to something that is calling us without blurring the vision. Because if we highlight everything, that as a result, nothing will be highlighted. Nothing will focus the energy. Nothing will focus our attention. So in this case, I would suggest highlight the table, highlight your soul. Like, okay, this is a safe place to come. This is the safe place to show your my anger, my anxiety, my procrastination, my excitement, my fear, my desire to live, my desire to escape, my bravery and my stupidity. So whatever you feel, like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to highlight my table. And I want to make it not perfectly round. I want it to make more alive, more organic. It's almost like carved out of wood with edges, with some vibration around it. It's not plastic table, it's natural. Interesting that like after I've done this table, it looks like an egg to me. Something is going to crack and opening up. Something will be born. Okay. So we've done already field lines, we've done emphasis and highlighting, and the new step of Neurographica is styling. How to style helps to connect the energy from the universe, from the oneness, to connect to our reality, make it more visual, more exciting, more real, like maybe some 3D shadings, some nuances or more contrast on your drawing. It helps us to define our unique style, our unique approach to different things. So, and after you're rounding all these new corners, highlighted lines, like the bold lines, always needs to be integrated. We are going over them, rounding, softening, and we start styling, maybe some shades, some flow, some notice which colors are, maybe some parts don't have any colors and you want to bring more excitement there. Something's very bright. And you can highlight the fixation not just with boldness of lines, you can do this some shaping, like 3D effect around it, some shading, something that makes more helps it to stand out, so make it more visible. You can even say out loud to this element, I see you. I see you. I see my soul. I see my core, my heart, my energy resource that I'm holding. And which way I want to make it visible. Make it more golden. Maybe your element wants to shine and you want to make some rays of light coming out of this feeling, like a sun burning and warming everything around it. Don't afraid darker colors, like more intense colors, because they create more depth and more wisdom on your colors, more intensity. So it could be very interesting combination of darker colors like deep blues or deep green, black colors could be very beautiful in Neurographica drawings, because the darkness can be highlighted by light. Some element can shine through this darkness and inspire the rest, the warmth, and give the resources to the rest states. And like a, almost like lantern or lighthouse to guide through the darker times. Like if you feel the darkness inside, it's better to be make it visible in the drawing. We don't need to always be shiny and happy. If it does not resonate our state, we could be different. Okay. And what makes the universe more exciting and interesting? Like, yes, people are different. I am different. And I'm different at any time, at different times of my life. And I can keep changing. I keep adapting to the life and adapt life around me as well. So it's exciting change. Do you have any questions to me about Neurographica, about anything else, about your drawing? Please don't hesitate. You're very quiet today, very polite people. Very modest. And if you're too modest, you can add the part, invite the part that could be rude or selfish. I don't have to invite, it's always next to me. There's no modesty. Okay. Again, like after highlighting, see the background all around. Like, is this environment that you are living in, is it exciting for you? Or is it something that is you want to make more interesting, more or brighter? Wendy, I'm using my longer pencils. Yuck. Oh, nice. Congratulations. Learn something new. Yuck could be very creative. Like the best drawings I've done, my favorite ones are when I felt like, okay, this is completely ruined. Nothing can be worse. There was the only choice to throw it away or start be creative. And how to be creative. Maybe you can use new colors on top of it. You combine different media. Do if you have everything is too dark, you can use white pencils or white markers on top of it to create this inner glowing. And this, when there is everything seems yuck, something mesmerizing is glowing through it. It could be very interesting effects. Yeah. But yeah, yuck is everything. It's Yeah. It's not always a heaven on earth, especially in the last few months. So yes, it could be yuck, but it's my creative yuck. Yeah. Okay, I want do some flow of energy through some resources. And again, like if you have this, Wendy, if you feel like everything is not the way you want it, choose the element that you want to highlight. Choose the element that will bring the light and excitement in this yak. Something maybe that you feel comfortable and excited. It doesn't have to be everything with longer pencils, but this excitement will shine through, and it will be guided, like a guided star, your North Pole. Give you support and resources in it. We're almost over. It's almost 2 hours since we started. How's everyone doing? Do we have any questions? You can turn on your microphone to ask, or if you want to share your insights or gratitude, who knows? You're always welcome. Or share your misery. So this is a safe place. It's a safe place for us to do it. Wow. And the last step of every Neurographica drawing is what has changed in me? What have I learned about myself? How can I be, what was my insight? So what would be the next topic that I want to explore? Maybe I want to spend a little bit more time and do full catharsis, all this algorithm of releasing limitations about special state that I experienced, or maybe I want to continue exploring my parts. Maybe I have the whole list to explore my parts. So this is the topic number 2 that you ask at the end. What has changed and what I want to explore next? Okay, so Melba, do you want to talk? Do you want to say something?
Well, I enjoyed the class. I enjoyed seeing on paper the variety of emotions that have run through me this month. I would have said there maybe were 5 or 6 things because that's kind of where I live. But I was really brought to awareness by the depth of some of the darker side of emotion that I experienced. So it happens briefly and occasionally, and there are just certain elements that trigger them, and that's kind of what was brought to my attention, and I can control the majority of those elements that trigger those emotions.
It's interesting when you allow them to be seen. In most cases, they don't need any control anymore. They just like what is important about emotions and feelings. They are looking for acceptance. They're looking for acknowledgement and respect. So if you've seen the lecture about emotions and feelings, this is what the ultimate goal for them, like to be seen. Because if we ignore them, like hide in the closet, at some point it will surprise everybody. It's the most unexpected way, and it's not what we want. So we want to
No.
look them in a safe environment and know, like, if it needs more attention, or it needs more time, or it needs more resources, and what kind of resources I can invite to give myself acknowledgement. Yeah, but thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
I want to thank you also. I hope everybody was done. I noticed with my work that I'm stuck in circles a lot, and I really don't, well, I guess I know what it means. I need to get out of those circles. And I had hot flashes during this, and I don't know why.
Okay, so the circles, traditionally they consider harmony and balance, but if it's a cycles that stagnation that is really bothering you, draw a triangle.
You see that?
No, I don't see, because you have this background and it's dissolved drawing.
Okay, I don't know why I have the background. I don't know how to get rid of it. Somebody
You
put
look,
it
you're a
there.
little bit more fancy.
I know, but I don't know what I'm doing with it. But yeah, I have lots of circles.
Draw, you can highlight and make the circles could be very dynamic. Create the colorful flow through the circles. Like connect them with the field lines and make this flow of energy, that it's not a stagnation, that the energy is moving. Or another options, you can always add a triangle that will shake things up, steer it.
Actually, I did do that. I did a triangle, and I also did like lightning bolt kind of things, which was like anger.
Okay, good luck to you, Deborah. Make sure that the lightning ball is rounded, that it's organic, that it's find the safest, the gentlest way to wake you up, because it will be shaking. It will be very bright impulse to do something. So you need to make sure that you diffuse the energy. Like, why we adding field lines in most cases after the connecting and rounding everything, we are creating the net of like the wires to diffuse the higher energy. So the bulk, it can even be almost like field lines, just very fast. So make it sure that it's very well integrated.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Thank you.
It's will waking you up.
Well, I've enjoyed this. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for being with us. Okay, anyone else wants to say or ask anything? Okay, and we have some comments. Okay. Wait, it's hard to see. So far, I do not like the drawing. I use the colors, I don't like too much. So I have to see how I can make it better. Okay. Creativity is everything. So try to find, I'm glad that you dared to do something uncomfortable and try to use something uncomfortable for you. But how you can use maybe adding something that brings comfort to you, in blend this new excitement or not so much, and something familiar, and how they complement each other. Or another thing, like when we have this something that is really not so exciting, create some contrast. Make it really bright, unusual yuckness, like really make it something that you doesn't look like you at all. Maybe it's some shadow that wants to appear and reflect something to you. Because shadow only appear when there is a light. When everything dark, there will be no shadows. Like, but when we have some light, we can look at the shadow, we can recognize it and say like, yes, my shadow is yucky, but it does not dissipate or it does not minimize my light. It's only highlighted, it's only complemented. So it could be, look at it from this point. And when you feel comfortable with this, stay with this. Like, don't try like, okay, I don't like this drawing, I'll do my another one. Stay with this. Allow yourself to experience this discomfort. Maybe tomorrow something new will be appearing to you, to your drawing. Try to define what makes it discomfortable. Try to recognize what it, why is it, what needs to be addressed. Maybe it needs to be more contrast. Maybe it needs to be some nuances, maybe different colors, maybe different intensity, maybe more lines, or maybe it needs a bigger size. Maybe you want to expand it. And in this case, you can create such a bright environment that will complement and support this uncomfort. But yeah, I'm very happy that you had the courage to go there. I'm curious about how I will sit with this drawing tomorrow and beyond. I can see it becoming a friend as it were. Thank you. Like, yeah, it's a beautiful saying. Again, I am a friend to myself. This is a very important. And it's very important to say, I can see myself. And when I can see myself, I can be seen by others. Because if I, feelings is another part of what we want in life. If we don't recognize our feelings, our emotions, we usually are disconnected from our desires, like what we really want, what is driving us in life, what is motivating us to move forward in life. So we knowing it, and when we know it, we will not, we will define our boundaries or our space, safe space, and we will not, when you really know what you want, you will not let other people boss you around, like, or influence you too much, because the core, I know what is my core, I know what motivates me, and this does not feel right to me, and this wants to be distant from me, and it's okay to know these boundaries as well. Of course, you are unlimited, going to infinity and beyond, but there will still be boundaries, safe environment for us. I find that I get tired sometimes. Yes, Christy, part that is tired is socially accepted, and that's why it's very hard to deal with. But accepting and acknowledging that part that is tired is very important. In your drawing as well, you can invite this part. If you are tired during the drawing, the very important question for you is to ask, do I feel empty? And that's why I feel, because there is a confusion sometimes between emptiness and relaxation and tiredness. And like, when am I tired because there's so much in me? There is such a bigger processes started, and it requires energy and time to process and digest. Or the tiredness because I'm holding back something. I invest all my energy to hold like a nuclear bomb in my hidden subconsciousness, So because I don't want to look at it. Usually when you look at it, allow yourself to look at it, it's diffused. It will be much safer. Because this is the creative way to do it, gentle way. Yeah, but use some support for your body as well. Like go outside, take a walk, some water, maybe even some sleep. We are working with emotions. Emotions and feelings are using so much energy. So it gives us a lot of energy, but to process them, it requires a lot of energy as well. So be patient and be gentle to yourself. Nothing we need to resolve in one day. We have so much time. We gave ourselves enough time to process it. Okay, so I think like before the video stops, because we have only 9 minutes to finish it. So I invite you on Fridays to YouTube channel at 9 a.m. Pacific time for live meetings. Like every time we're having different topics. It's free. Everybody's welcome. There is always small exercise to do and learn something new about ourselves. Next Neurographica drawing will be, I believe, on July 9th. And it will be about the gift of the universe. Yes, it will be July 9th. The information already on our website, so you can register, you can see. And if it's something, some topics that like some emotions that is all very overwhelming for you, still be unrested, give it a special treatment. Do some algorithm releasing limitations around this state, or you can do some different algorithms about it, or do different practice about it. Like, because if something starts opening up, invite it. We don't want to suppress it. We don't want to like, no, I don't want to look at it. You are not what I want to invite my life. Everything is welcome. And in this case, you are welcome. I am welcome in the world. My emotions are welcome in the world. And this is the only way we can grow as a soul and be creators of our life. To make invisible visible, accept it, and transform it in the way where we feel comfortable. But before we do anything, we need to look at it. Okay, my preaching is over. Amen. So thank you for joining us. I hope you learn something new about yourself. You have more resources, more excitement about your life and about your complexity and how you are interesting and colorful. Even if it's not comfortable colors, it still be colorful. It still be interesting. If you look at the pearls, they can be very not so excited about colors, but there is such a complexity in colors always. There is always some glowing through it. So I'm glad that we look at ourselves as gems and shine through our limitations to the infinity and beyond. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, and I'll see you next week or next month. Have a great Father's Day and all other exciting celebrations that are coming. So bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.